Deep within the ocean, where sunlight could never reach, lurked a massive serpent with 7 heads and unparalleled power. For centuries, this creature, feared by all, had ruled the depths, terrorizing the sea creatures and claiming the darkest abysses as its domain. Stories of the 7-headed serpent had traveled through ocean currents, filling creatures far and wide with dread. However, the king of the ocean, a wise and courageous ruler, believed it was time to restore peace to the deep waters. The king of the ocean, with his shimmering armor and mighty trident, was known for his strength and compassion for all sea creatures. Hearing tales of the serpent's tyranny, he vowed to end its reign and protect the inhabitants of the ocean depths. He set out on a journey, traveling through turbulent waters and exploring mysterious caves to seek the serpent's hidden lair. The sea creatures, from the smallest fish to the largest whales, followed him, believing in his courage and mission. As he ventured deeper, the ocean grew darker, and the water thickened with fear, for he was nearing the serpent's realm. At last, he reached the edge of the serpent's domain, where no other creature dared to go. The serpent sensed the king's arrival and stirred from its slumber, its 7 heads rising, each filled with ancient malice. With a hiss that shook the seabed, the serpent glared at the intruder, each head snapping and twisting in fury. The king stood undaunted, holding his trident firmly as he prepared for the greatest battle of his life. "Your terror ends today," declared the king, his voice echoing through the water like thunder. The serpent lunged, its 7 heads striking from all directions, each one aiming to crush the king. The king dodged swiftly, deflecting each attack with his trident, his movements precise and graceful. For hours, the two combatants clashed, their battle-stirring whirlpools and shaking the ocean floor. Each head of the serpent was relentless, snapping and hissing with a venomous fury that could corrode even the hardest stones. But the king was determined, his heart fueled by his desire to bring peace to the ocean. He struck one of the heads with his trident, leaving a deep gash that sent a shiver of pain through the serpent. Furious, the serpent thrashed and twisted, but the king held his ground, refusing to retreat. As they fought, the ocean creatures watched in awe, inspired by the king's bravery against such a monstrous foe. The serpent, though powerful, had never faced an opponent who fought with such unwavering resolve. Head by head, the king weakened the beast, each strike bringing him closer to victory. Despite his wounds, the king continued, never losing focus on his goal of ending the serpent's reign. With every blow, he reminded himself of the lives he was fighting to protect. Exhausted yet undeterred, he launched a final, powerful strike, piercing the heart of the serpent. The serpent let out a deafening roar as its 7 heads writhed in agony, its strength draining away. Slowly, the mighty serpent fell, defeated, its enormous body sinking to the ocean floor. The ocean, once filled with fear, now rang with the cheers of the creatures who had witnessed the serpent's end. The king stood tall, breathing heavily, but his spirit soared with pride and relief. He had won not only a battle, but had restored hope and peace to the ocean depths. The creatures gathered around him, expressing their gratitude for his courage and sacrifice. The king smiled, knowing he had fulfilled his duty as protector of the ocean. From that day onward, the ocean flourished, free from the terror that once plagued its depths. The 7-headed serpent became a legend, a tale of the monster that was defeated by the king's bravery. The king returned to his palace, where he was celebrated as a hero by all his subjects. He reminded them that true strength comes not from power alone but from the willingness to protect others. The creatures of the ocean never forgot the lesson of courage he had shown that day. The king continued to rule wisely, never letting fear stand in the way of justice. His battle with the serpent became an example of resilience, showing that even the most fearsome enemies can be overcome. Young creatures grew up hearing stories of the king's bravery, inspired to face their own fears. The ocean became a place of harmony, a world where all creatures thrived under the king's guidance. And though the serpent was gone, the memory of its defeat gave strength to all who lived in the sea. The king taught them that fear was merely an obstacle that courage could conquer. The ocean was vast and full of challenges, but the king's victory proved that anything was possible. Even the smallest fish swam with pride, knowing they were protected by a leader as fearless as the king. The king visited the place where he had defeated the serpent, leaving a memorial in its honor. It was a reminder to all that courage could overcome even the darkest forces. From that day on, the ocean creatures lived in peace, unafraid of what lay in the shadows. The king encouraged them to be brave, to look within themselves for strength when fear arose. Every creature in the ocean celebrated this newfound peace, carrying the king's message in their hearts. The king's battle with the serpent was remembered as the turning point for the entire ocean. His courage became a guiding light, a beacon of hope in times of darkness. The king knew that as long as he led with bravery, the ocean would remain safe. His subjects trusted him completely, their loyalty deepened by his selflessness. The seven-headed serpent's reign of terror was over, replaced by an era of unity and prosperity. The king's victory was celebrated each year, a reminder of the courage he displayed. The ocean continued to grow, its inhabitants thriving in a world free from fear. The king taught his people that courage was the ultimate weapon, stronger than any trident or claw. His message echoed through the ages, passed down from one generation to the next. The ocean's creatures lived with newfound purpose, each inspired to protect and uplift one another. Even the darkest corners of the sea now felt safer, the memory of the serpent long faded. The king's story became a legend, told and retold to instill bravery in young hearts. The seven-headed serpent was no longer feared but remembered as a conquered foe. The king's name was spoken with reverence, his legacy of courage unshakable. The battle had been hard won, but it was a triumph for all who called the ocean home. The king's wisdom guided the ocean, making it a sanctuary for all its creatures. His teachings became law, promoting unity and kindness throughout the sea. Every creature vowed to uphold his vision, knowing that together they were unstoppable. The king watched over them, his heart full of pride for his kingdom's resilience. The ocean became known as a place of peace, its beauty unmatched in the world. The king had fulfilled his promise, his courage transforming the ocean into a haven. And as he gazed into the depths, he knew he had left a legacy that would endure forever. His spirit remained a part of the ocean, guiding it toward endless harmony. The creatures rejoiced, knowing they would never face fear alone. The king's memory lived on in every wave, every ripple, and every coral reef. His story was a constant reminder that even the fiercest challenges could be overcome. The ocean flourished under his guidance, becoming a world of strength and unity. The creatures knew that, as long as they carried his courage within them, they could face anything. The king's name became a symbol of bravery, spoken with honor by all who knew his tale. His legacy grew, inspiring not only his people but all who heard his story. The ocean remained free, its creatures united in the strength of their king's teachings. The king's spirit became one with the waves, his courage forever etched in the heart of the ocean. The legend of the king and the serpent spread, reaching distant shores and inspiring others. His bravery was remembered as the foundation of the ocean's peace. Every creature swam with pride, knowing they lived in a world ruled by courage. The king's message endured, passed down as a lesson of strength for all time. Even as new challenges arose, the creatures remained united by his teachings. The ocean was a place of unity, a sanctuary of peace that no monster could disrupt. The king's triumph became a story of hope, teaching future generations to face their fears. His spirit remained an eternal guardian of the ocean's depths. The creatures of the sea remembered him as a hero, a ruler, and a friend. His wisdom guided them, showing that true power lay in kindness and bravery. The king's legacy became the ocean's greatest treasure, a tale of triumph over darkness. As long as the ocean existed, his story would be told, his courage remembered. The king's heart beat in every wave, a rhythm of resilience and peace. His spirit watched over the ocean, a protector for all eternity. The creatures swam freely, knowing that courage would always prevail. And so the ocean remained a realm of peace, forever guarded by the memory of its brave king.